And we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Nelson Vasquez from Central Florida uh, with the Kiltz Health live stream. And today we're going to have a conversation with Robin Herron. Oh, I have a tab. There we go. I had an echo. um, so please put in the chat where you're watching from and put hashtag KMT. We're going to give away
Oh, nice.
Dr. Nelson hat.
Love it.
I have them in black and gray. I don't have the gray with me right now. It's actually behind my green screen there. And remember to come by our booth this weekend. We're going to be in Tampa, Florida for Hack Your Health. Are you coming, Robin?
I am not coming.
Oh,
I'm so sad. I actually planned, I bought my ticket last year and was ready to go. But my niece is getting married in December, so I had to prioritize. Financially, I just couldn't do both, so I will not be there. But my heart is with you guys, and I know you guys have a great time. Hacker Health is a really, really awesome event. So for everybody that's going, I'm having a lot of FOMO over here, and I'm sorry that I'm going to miss you guys at Hacker Health this year.
all right. So I love to do in this live stream basically stories of healing. And I know many people here do know who you are. Some others may not. We have new people in the community all the time. And so I'm going to ask you to go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a brief version of your carnivore story and the healing that you have received from that.
Okay, well, of course, my name is Robin Herron, and I'm your carnivorous grandma. At least that's my moniker on all my social media. I am 59 years old. I'll be turning 60 in July this coming year. 50 years, 59 years young. Yes, and I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. I have my husband, and I have 11 grandkids, which is why my nickname is Carnivorous Grandma. So basically, I struggled with weight, and really what I thought it was weight all my life, right? So I was on the yo-yo diet roller coaster from age 11. I started dieting. I started feeling like I was fat. When I look back at pictures of myself, I was not fat. But I don't know, I had a complex about it because people would poke my little tummy when I was a little girl and say, well, she's chubby, and I was bigger than my sister, who was 2 years younger than me. So it made a lot of sense, but that kind of I just had that revelation recently. Like, it made sense that she was always smaller than me. And of course, I like to eat. So about age 11, I decided I needed to be on a diet, and I started trying out all the diets. But the funny thing, Dr. Nelson, was when I first tried dieting, the first thing I thought I should do was eat raw meat. That was the first thing I tried. And my mom was like, you cannot eat that. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to, give yourself some kind of a bacteria or something like that. So I ended up eating like just basically carrots and stuff. I started on this yo-yo.
Have you more recently, while carnivore, tried eating raw meat?
No. Okay. No, I have not. I have gone from, I used to always eat my meat medium, and now I'm closer to medium rare, but I have had rare as well. And, it's tolerable, but I don't think I want to eat it raw. There's a couple things I want to try, like I'm hearing about the raw liver. I definitely want to try that. And, so I'm getting more and more rare as long as I go along. Anyway, I was on this yo-yo diet roller coaster. I'm going to show y'all a picture of what that looked like.
And
Let's
if
see
you have any
here.
questions for Robin, please put them in the chat. And
Can you see that?
yes, I'm
Okay.
gonna bring it up.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I just went up and down and up and down on the yo-yo diet roller coaster. And the funny thing was that I had this issue, which you can see it, and I'll show you another slide of it. But that my issue was eczema, severe eczema. If you see this one down at the bottom with me holding my hands, I always held my hands like that because my hands were like raw meat. They really were just completely blistered up. My skin sloughed off. It was really terrible. And I always had eczema. So I went to a lot of different doctors trying to see, you
Was it
know,
by any chance this hydrotic eczema?
this hydrotic eczema in the hands. I'm
Okay.
just going to show you a little slide of that. So this is kind of the what I dealt with. My hands peeled off. And they basically, I lost the skin on my hands. I lost my fingerprints because I had so much blistering and flaking and cracking and just really, really awful. But I also had like these two black eyes, right? And I had this dark circle around my mouth. And no matter how much weight I lost or gained, that was always the same. When I was big, it was that way. When I was small, it was that way. I thought that was just normal for me, and it was going to be that way for the rest of my life. I talked to doctors. The doctors told me that this is not related to diet, which was just incorrect. And so this is what I struggled with. And those are the things that really, really changed for me so much when I went on carnivore. So I actually did keto for a long time. I did keto for about 10 years. I like to say I did 5 years of keto and 5 years of what I like to call Cheeto because I fell off and I could the wagon rolled over me and backed up over me and I just could not get back on it. I just kept cheating. I could not get back on it. And so it was really those carbohydrate cravings that really took me out. I just could not get myself back together. So I finally did try carnivore after watching Dr. Berry. And it has been a true game changer for me. So that's how I found it.
And what made you, what was the why that made you seek such a weird, strange, crazy change? Because, those are the things that other people say about carnivores, that you're crazy.
Yeah, they do say you're crazy. That's for sure. Because it's so counterintuitive and counter to what we've been taught. My big why was weight loss. I thought. That's what I thought. And because I kept trying these diets over the years, I kept going up and down. And I had the idea that carnivore would be another weight loss protocol, that I would be able to lose my weight. And what happened though, when I actually did carnivore, was that the benefits were so far outweighing what I consider to be the negatives. So, like no more sides, which is a thing that people are like, I love sides. Yeah, I love sides too. But I had that hand eczema. It cleared up. Like that face eczema cleared up, which I had like lost weight, gained weight all that time, that the face eczema cleared up. I never thought that that was going away ever. Um, I had high blood pressure. They put me on medication for it. And basically my blood pressure is normal. No problems with blood pressure. I don't know if you guys can hear that dog barking. I'm not sure. So,
I don't.
well, that's good. I got good headphones on then. So sleep apnea. I was iron deficiency anemic my entire life. They always wanted to put me on those little pills. Little pills cause constipation. I can't even say the word anymore. Constipation. And so I would refuse to take them. I couldn't give blood. I would go and try to give blood. They would be like, eat peanut butter or eat something before you come so that you can give blood. I wouldn't be able to give it because I was anemic. And so, like my dandruff went away. You know how you scratch your head and these flakes fall out?
Hmm.
Stuff went away. Um, my seasonal allergies went away because I started in February. So February 22nd, 2023, I started. So the springtime was coming. And all of a sudden I realized like everybody's dealing with their allergies. Their eyes are itching, throats, scratchy throats and ears and all that stuff. And my allergies were gone. And I was a person that took allergy pills twice a day, plus Benadryl at night. My earwax went down. My racing thoughts. So I had severe debilitating anxiety to the point where I went to the doctor and said, "You're going to have to put me on something because I cannot function in normal life." And hey, Rick. And so she did. She put me on medication. I was on it for a year. By the time that year rolled around, I was on carnivore for 6 months, and I just weaned myself off of it. So the racing thoughts, the consistent obsession about food, being afraid of everything, like just terrified of certain things like crossing over bridges or I'm driving down the road and the shadows are making crazy, making the ground look like it's moving, and then I would be freaking out like and just have to go home and like lay down because I was really 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 anxious. And I had this sense of impending doom. So like I would tell my people, do not call me, do not ring my phone. If you want something, text me, because I was always afraid that something terrible happened. And so it was really, really, oh, Sharon, we're carniversary twins. Yay, that's awesome. One of the most recent things that happened to me was that my eyes got better. My vision got better. And I went to the doctor just like a couple of weeks ago to have my eye exam. And I noticed over the past couple of years, because I've been almost 3 years, that the degeneration of my eyes was going slower. So normally every year I would have to get an updated prescription. I would notice that I had to start taking my glasses off in order to see. Well, that was happening, but this time it was because my eyes actually got better and my distance vision improved. So that was something that was really, really shocking. I didn't realize what I was signing up for when I signed up for carnivore. Um, and I feel like with all of the benefits of it, there's just no way of going back to what I was before. I was just afraid of everything. It was crazy.
Which one of those, you've mentioned multiple, and that is a wonderful story. Which one of them made the most impact in you when you said, okay, this one is better? Which one was it?
So there's two that probably tie, but I would say anxiety is going to be the top one because the anxiety was preventing me from living life. I could not go outside. I could not drive my car. I was just afraid of everything. And so that anxiety was really, really debilitating. I was worried all the time. If people called me, I would be freaking out. I would immediately think that something terrible happened. And so that's got to be the top one. And then right next to that is the eczema. Because I never thought that was going away. I just figured they said it's not food related. The dermatologist, my family care doctor, and everybody I went and saw about it said this is not related to food. And I would say, well, I think if I have ice cream, I have a little bit of something issue going on. And and they would be like, it's not food related. So between the eczema and the anxiety, those are really the top ones. Like those have been life changing for me.
Very good. We have a new member.
Hey,
Uh,
Cherie.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
and I don't know, is that are you live streaming to your audience, by the way?
I
You
am.
are. Okay.
Yep, I am. Uh-huh.
All righty.
Yep, I think Sharice joined my channel, so thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. So we have a question from Terry B. Carnivorous grandma, has mindset issues ever been an issue for you?
Well, certainly they have. Yes. In fact, I did suffer with depression and um and I still sometimes struggle with that a little bit, like having a sense of hopelessness. So that's something that I have to work on often. And so my spirituality is definitely a big factor for me. I talk a lot about a God in the scripture, and those are things that are really help me with my mindset. Also, community is a big piece of keeping my mindset healthy. So I have my Marco Polo groups. I'm doing coaching where I'm working with other people that helps me to keep my mindset positive. Um, but I'm really a person who can do extremes. So that probably helps me in the way of carnivore, right? So I've done a lot of diets. I definitely can do a diet, any diet. I mean, whatever you got, bring it on. I could do it. But knowing where I came from with my skin issues and also with my I call it mental health issue, with the severe anxiety helps me with my mindset towards staying on track with eating right. But if you watch my channel, I have my struggles because I talk about it on my channel a lot, about the different things and, dealing with addiction and dealing with, flare-ups uh, and cravings and all of the things I deal with just like everybody else. But I definitely am. I realize that I don't want to go back to where I was before.
We all have our struggles. Now, many people also struggle with the social aspect of this diet. What is your best advice for navigating eating out or family gatherings and the well meaning criticism from people? Hey, Robin, you're going to die from a heart attack tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's start with that heart attack one. I interviewed Dr. Ovadia on my channel, and I'm pretty much thinking that if I do have a heart attack, it's not going to be because I ate meat. So I don't worry about that so much. But what does happen is that there's lots of family gatherings, particularly now. We're getting ready to go into the holiday season. We just came from Halloween, which is like the worst because there's so much sweets and candy around. Very, very tempting, right? Um, but my thing is to be prepared or be prepared to fail, right? So eat before you go, eat you some fat, bring bacon, bring a dish to pass, make sure that you're providing something that you can eat. Another thing that you can do is you certainly can fast. You know what I mean? You don't have to eat. And so my best advice is be prepared. Be prepared. Make sure that you have filled up. I have an event coming up. It's going to be a Christmas party coming up in December, and I'm already thinking about what am I going to do for that party? What am I going to bring? Am I going to eat? Am I not going to eat? I'm really planning ahead, and so I think preparation is a big key factor in dealing with social situations. Another thing about eating out is that you can special order. It's okay. Go ahead and special order. So some restaurants have an a la carte menu, like Olive Garden has an a la carte menu, or you can just order the meats. And that's what I do when we go there is I order all the meats. If you're going to fast food, you can order the burger patties. And if you can tolerate cheese, you can have cheese, but I can't really tolerate cheese. Um, and just don't be afraid to do the special order. Actually, I saw Emma Man, and she was at the Texas Roadhouse, and she ordered salad, no salad, with just eggs and bacon. And they brought a bowl of boiled eggs and bacon. And that was
Yeah,
so
their
perfect.
salad includes eggs, right? So
It
you just
includes,
order the eggs basically without
yes,
nothing
yes,
else.
exactly.
Uh, and
It worked well.
I think her and Carrie order uh, bacon, crumbled bacon or something like that with the eggs. So
Mhm, mhm. Yep. Yep, so you're ordering basically instead of the big bowl of lettuce and all the stuff, and, you ordering a big bowl of egg boiled eggs with some bacon. If you can tolerate cheese, put some cheese on it. It'd be delicious. So
I,
don't be afraid to special order.
I personally don't have a problem with tolerating cheese, and maybe that would have helped me because I love cheese. When I do eat it, usually eat too much. I've gone
Yes.
through. This will be my third Thanksgiving and Christmas and
Mhm.
birthday. A few weeks after Christmas.
Yeah.
Uh, haven't had a problem really. I have actually decided to do some fast, and it so happened that some event has come about, and I've gone to eat with family and friends while I'm fasting. Well, I order either water or just a coffee and
Mhm.
talk. I have no
Yep.
problem talking, so I enjoy
I think
being.
that's the thing of it is it's really about the social aspect of it, right? We have made everything about food. You know, every birthday, if it's your birthday, I'm gonna have cake. If it's my birthday, I'm gonna have cake. If it's the neighbor next door's birthday, I'm gonna have cake. We make these social events about food when it really is about hanging around with the people, having a good time, have some good conversation, maybe play some games, do a dance party, do something else besides eat.
So you go by carnivorous grandma. So
Yes.
obviously you mentioned you have several grandkids. So what does your immediate family and grandchildren think about, and what do you do with them? Because I mean, are you still giving them candy? I doubt it, but
Mm.
what do you do with them? Because one of the things that grandmas are known for is, come into my house, I'll feed you whatever you want,
Right.
and you probably don't feed them everything that otherwise you would have. But
Yeah.
what do they
That's
think, and what do you do with them?
So some of them love that I'm a carnivore. They're like, "I wanna be a carnivore too," you know? The ones that love meat are like, they probably could get with the program of being a carnivore. All my grandkids know that I'm a carnivore. They know that I don't eat all of the things that everybody else eats. What do I do with them? So right now, I have my daughter, and her 5 kids living with us. And it is very challenging because they do not eat like I eat. But what I do is I make what I'm gonna make, and then whatever they get has to come from somewhere else. So, for instance, like yesterday, I did chicken thighs. I do meat. I will give them a veg, every now and then, but most of the time, I'm like, "If you want a vegetable, you're gonna have to make it yourself." But I would just make meat mostly. But they are definitely carb addicted, and and it's very difficult. I really hope that we'll be able to transition to them to an at least keto diet, but we know that conveniences are very challenging for a mom who's got 5 kids, right? So, it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult, but yeah, they all know that I'm a carnivore and they find it interesting. And what I tell them is when you grow up and you find yourself sick with anything, doesn't matter what it is, you should go on a carnivore way of eating. You should become a carnivore and find out what's going on with your body. So, I have a granddaughter who has a couple of granddaughters that have the same issue as me with the skin. And I'm looking at it like, you guys, you got to cut the cheese out, you've got to cut the sugar out, and it's very difficult for, I'm not their mom. So I got to keep that in mind.
Yes, yes. So what are the the three most common meals on Robin's plate? What I mean,
Oh,
because a lot of people talk about carnivore being restrictive. I never found it restrictive, by the way,
no,
and
no.
I don't like to have the same thing over and over. But at some point, the same thing, repeats. So
Hmm.
what are the three most common meals on your plate?
So I would say the probably most common is going to be like bacon and burger patties are the, I eat that the most often. It's very cost effective. I generally eat bacon almost every single day, and burger patties most days of the week. Most of the time, beef feels the best to me. It makes me feel the most satiated, and it's just really really good. Then I guess the second one would be like a chuck roast or chuck steak. I like the steak bites. I love the steak bites actually. Just cut up small and then uh, f- fried hot and fast on the cast iron, and they're really, 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 really nice. And then the third thing I guess would be ribeye. I love ribeye. It's high, high, high price right now. it's it's kind of getting out of my price range, but every now and then I just need to have a ribeye. So I will, sometimes I'll just buy a whole primal. I'll cut that up and have ribeyes in the freezer. And then when I need to pull one out, I can pull one out. But I can't eat that all the time. I just have to eat that on occasion.
I found this is, uh, I go hunting, like I say, at a couple of places. One of them is Walmart,
Mm,
and I'm looking at ribeye prices, which are near $20 a pound
yes.
for a choice
Yep.
ribeye. Okay,
Yes, it is.
but then I see some rib roast, boneless. This is where the ribeyes come from, by
The
the way.
same thing.
And the rib roasts are 13. I think it was $13 a pound.
Hmm.
Okay, so basically, if they cut it for me, it's almost 20. If I buy the rib roast, so I bought a couple. I have one in the freezer right now, and basically, I cut it. Now the
Hmm.
last one I did was about 4 pounds, and I only got four ribeyes cut, so they were basically a pound a piece, more or less.
Yes.
And
Nice.
hey, it tastes the same. Uh,
It's the same thing. It's the
yeah,
same thing. Yeah, if you can catch that rib roast on sale, like now that we're going into the holidays, you may be able to find something like that on sale. Um, just it. Get it and cut it yourself and make it into steaks. And I can eat a whole pound of ribeye. I mean, I can eat a pound of meat in a city.
I also bought a quarter beef uh,
Mm,
together with three other people.
nice.
Uh, we have a member of the Kiltz tribe, and they have a farm, 3C Jopa
Yes.
Farms. I forget the rest of the name, but 3C Jopa.
Hmm. Hmm.
And basically, he got four people together, and each one paid a quarter, but at the same price of buying a whole beef. So ended up being about $13 a pound for Wagyu
Nice. Nice.
beef.
That's awesome. That is
$13 a
awesome.
pound. Yes, there was ground meat, definitely, and many other cuts, but on the average, not bad.
Mhm.
So I have a freezer full of
That's awesome.
different cuts of Wagyu beef.
I was really thinking about ordering from I gotta save up though. 3C Japa is not cheap, but I definitely wanna try their meats. So I did see that on Dr. Kiltz's on Kiltz Mighty Tribe, one of the morning live streams, and I'm like, I gotta try it. I've got to try it.
He has, and I don't remember right now, but you can go and find it on the Kiltz Tribe. If you buy a quarter, a half, or a full beef, it'll come with a freezer.
Wow.
So
That's nice.
you get a free
Wow.
freezer, appropriately sized, basically.
Okay.
Uh, so, you know,
That's awesome.
it's pretty good. We have a
Mhm.
question here, but you answered the question already. I'm just going to bring it
Yes.
up.
No, I'm not
Uh,
gonna be able to go this year. I'm very sad, you guys. You know, the best of everybody's gonna be there. And if you guys are going, please have a great time for me. Come back and tell me all about it because I really am sad that I'm not gonna be going this year.
all right. If you have any other questions, please put them in the chat. Q. If I miss a question, please put it again. Um, all right. So,
Main runner is saying, I had a very thin round steak for lunch, hardly add any fat on it, so I added a couple butter balls. Yeah, I don't eat any round steak per se, although I have done the, chicken fried steak, carnivore chicken fried steak, which is kind of with a round steak, type of a steak. Really, really good. You can make a chicken fried steak and gravy on carnivore, and it's really, really good. But yes, you do need to add some fat if you're having a round steak for sure.
all right. So, with carnivore, you notice a difference in mental clarity and energy levels. You did mention anxiety that
Mhm.
improved,
Yeah.
but mental clarity and energy levels.
I absolutely did. You know, the funny thing was around the 3-month mark, which is why I'm so adamant that people need to give carnivore a 90-day try. You need to try it for 90 days, and then you need to just push on through to get to the 90 days. Because at that point was the time that I experienced that carnivore zen, the carnivore zen that everybody talks about, where that mental clarity was just like off the chain. I never experienced anything like that in my life that I could recall until I felt that. And I was like, oh, so this is what they mean when they say that you don't have brain fog. Um, one of the main reasons that I really want to stay with carnivore and a zero sugar or as low sugar as possible diet is because of type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's, and dementia, right? So in my family, this is something that happens. Uh, and so I want to make sure that I keep my mental clarity. And so I like to keep my sugar, my insulin low. Because, you know, but yes, I have experienced the mental clarity and it's been really, really, really awesome. And I think if you haven't experienced it, you need to. It's awesome.
How about keto flu? Did you ever get the keto flu? Or
Not
since
that I
you
can
were already
remember.
keto,
Yeah. Right.
and
I did keto such a long time ago. Maybe when I first did the Atkins diet way back in the early 2000s, I probably did experience something. But you know, my husband actually did, and he got very, very sick. And we did not realize that keto flu, meaning you know that you're going into ketosis and you're evacuating or eliminating your electrolytes out through urination, that it is actually an optional thing. You don't have to have that. If you just supplement with electrolytes, you can avoid having that. So he got sick and had to go to the urgent care. It was really, really bad. He was we thought this man is going to pass away, but it was keto flu.
I don't remember ever having the keto flu. And when I went carnivore, I actually had that mental clarity and burst of energy and no hunger on my third or fourth day of carnivore. But I have been doing for 6 months very strict keto. So
Hmm.
didn't experience any keto. I've never, because I've done the Atkins diet too many times. It should have been one time, and that was it.
Right.
But
I
as
think
soon as
they had us messed up though, Dr. Nelson, because they said you have to climb this carb ladder. And climbing the carb ladder was my downfall every time. I could not. I was like,
definitely, I agree.
yeah, it was really, really a bad thing. But being at 20 carbs or less was like a game changer. It was amazing. I'm like, why can't you just stay in ketosis all the time when I was doing it? And, ultimately I ended up going off of it because the carb cravings, I'm a carb addict. So the carb cravings knocked me out.
So, do you still now have cravings, and how do you manage them, or you don't get any cravings for anything? Excuse me. Actually, I don't get cravings, especially when I'm very strict. Uh, I don't know that I would say I get cravings if I had a pickle or olive or
Hmm.
even cheese, which uh, I can overeat it, but I don't get cravings anymore.
Hmm.
Uh, when I think of
Yes,
ultra processed food, number one, it's my mindset is that's poison for me. And maybe things I could eat that are not, I don't have the desire or the craving. But do you still get any cravings?
I do. Not for things like, packaged processed foods, but I get some cravings for sweet tastes. And so, just being straight up, you know, I like the sweets. Um, so I have these coffees, and in the coffee, I'll have like a sweetened electrolyte, and that does tend to cause me to crave additional sweet tastes.
Okay.
And so, yes, I will say that that is one thing that I still do crave. But as far as foods are concerned, I don't really I did have a craving one day for, like, pizza, 'cause I mean, pizza was my favorite thing, right? So I love cheese, but cheese caused my hand to blister, so I can't tolerate it. So I'm choosing every day not to have it. I don't really crave it, but one day I did, like, out of the blue, it was like, "Oh, I really could taste it and everything." So that's what I would describe as a craving. But yes, for the most part, I don't really crave anything food related.
You mentioned electrolytes. Uh, do you buy any prepackaged electrolytes, or do you make your own?
I buy the prepackaged electrolytes. I get either Element or Salty or the Redmond's Relight. I have a whole bunch of them, so a bunch of different kinds. And I do enjoy those, the sweetened ones. They're very nice. They taste good.
I ran out of mine, and we're out of stock right now, so I'm waiting for
Mhm.
the new batch.
Okay.
Uh, all right. So,
I have all the stuff to make it here, but I'm like, I have not made it because I have so much of these other ones that I've already purchased. So
well,
maybe when I run out,
today, this morning, I woke up at 2:30, and that is the reason why I may have a little bit of dark circles. Uh, so I got up and among the things that I was feeling was some cramping in my legs.
Mm.
So I make my own basically with potassium, sodium salt, and then I take magnesium separately in capsules every day. Uh, Even before I was carnivore, I've had cramps, so I've always taken magnesium and have magnesium
Mhm.
oil ready to rub it into my legs if I get any cramps. Um, so if a new person interested comes to you, what is your advice regarding when to start, how to start it, how quick to jump into it, and all that?
So I am going to probably work with a person to assess their situation and determine whether or not they are ready to go full carnivore or if they maybe need to go keto first. And so my advice is going to be like, let's do an assessment. I mean, this is what I'm doing in my coaching practice, right? And work out what your plan should be based on what your goals are. So, depending on those goals, it comes out different for every single person, right? What they're going to do. But if you're going to go carnivore, I say choose 90 days as your point. I mean, a lot of people have started with me and started with 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, and some of them are still going on after like almost a year. They're still doing, but they started at 7 days. But to me, 90 days is the magic number. Um, because if you don't go for 90 days, you're not going to really get to that point where you start to really see the benefits, in my opinion. So I think that people should do 90 days. They certainly need to onboard their electrolytes if they're going to, even if they're going just keto and reducing their packaged processed food and eliminating carbs as much as possible, going down to 20 carbs. They need to be supplementing with electrolytes. And so that's something that I would recommend for people. And then the other piece is probably going to be community. Like you need to find a tribe to be with, to support you as you're going through this journey, because so many of us have started out on our own. Like I was by myself. My family looked at me like I had two heads for 2 years before anybody would try it. And so finding community, finding the tribe, finding the people who are like-minded and doing the same thing as me and could commiserate with me and talk about it and figure out how to walk this journey was a huge piece. So finding that community is a big piece of it.
Someone here has a question.
Okay.
Uh, so, Carnivorous Grandma, no, have you even thought about writing a children's picture book sharing your story?
Not until this very moment, Terry B. What a very cool idea. Yeah, I mean, I've never thought about doing that. I have thought about writing a number of different books, one of them being a devotional, but that's a great idea. I need to put that in my list of things to do.
So, how long altogether you've been carnivore now?
So I started on February 22nd, 2023.
Okay.
So it's been a little over 2.5 years, heading on towards 3 years now.
Yeah, that was about 4 months before I went carnivore, and 866 days for me. I think you passed the 1,000.
Not yet.
No,
I keep looking at it. I'm almost in 1,000 days. Almost 1,000 days. Gotta look it up.
222, 23.
Yes. 993 days.
Okay, you're close. One more week.
Close. Yes, yes. So I gotta go live and do something on my 1,000 day celebrate about it, Dr. Nelson. I thought that this would be just like every other diet that certainly I thought it would be similar to keto and that I would be able to add things back in. after a time. After my 90 days, I just knew that I would add a few vegetables back in. But come to find out, the vegetables were the thing that were causing the most problem for me between the vegetables and the dairy. Took longer to figure the dairy out. But, I tried to add back in a little bit of cauliflower. I tried to add back in a little bit of tomato, onion, and all of the vegetables really, really caused problems. And things like, I had a little bit of mint in water, like fresh mint in water, thinking, oh, this is great. I'll be fancy and I can have a little bit of this mint in my water, and had a full on panic attack. Like my anxiety came raging back just from having a little bit of mint for a couple of days. So vegetables really do not agree with me, and the only one that I could potentially eat is maybe cabbage, but I'm really just choosing not to allow it in because I don't know what it will do. But a lot of the like lettuce, I always hated lettuce. I thought there's no such thing as a nice salad. People be like, "I'm gonna have a nice salad." I'm like, "That's not a thing. There's no such thing as a nice salad." And
Most
it's
people that like salad really like the salad dressing.
exactly, yes. And I was like, I got lettuce by accident on my McDonald's hamburger patties one day. Because I don't know why when you order burger patties, they want to put it on a bed of lettuce. But I decided to just eat the burger patties off the lettuce, and my hands blistered up. And I'm like, this is, it's no wonder that I didn't enjoy this food and I didn't like it. And I was eating it, forcing myself to eat it anyway, because it's good for you. It's healthy. Everybody should eat a salad once a day, is what we had been taught. And so, but I am allergic to it. I really, really have food sensitivities, and so I can't, I can't eat vegetables, and it's okay. I'm fine with that.
So there is a new trend, right? Last few months. I mean, a few years ago, Saladino was the first one who went big on adding fruit, right? But there have been a lot of other people recently,
Yeah.
and some of the big carnivore influencers uh, have gone and added. No, I got an email today from one of them, the regular newsletter, talking about
Oh
adding
my.
bread. Uh,
What?
and anyways, but what do you think?
Yeah. So I did a video about this recently. The fact that I don't think that everybody is quitting carnivore, even though it's like everybody's quitting carnivore. I don't think everybody's quitting. Um, I feel like I have a couple of thoughts about this. The first one is if you have really cured your metabolic disorder, meaning that you have been on your way of eating long enough that you are no longer metabolically unhealthy and you want to incorporate things, well, maybe you could. Some people are saying I need to. But I know for myself, at this point, I don't need to. I'm still a baby. I have just started, not even 3, years, and I'm nowhere near healed. Um, so that's one thing. The second thing is, like, I think that some people want to add back things. I believe that there is true food addiction. And so I think people wanna add back things in because it makes them feel good. They get that dopamine hit. It feels good to eat, like, bread. That feels good. If you eat that, you're getting those morphine receptors switched on. You feel good. And so I think that there's true food addiction, that people are suffering with, and they're not giving themselves time to heal. Personally, that's my personal opinion. I really, as I said, I feel like people have to make their own choices about what they're gonna eat. I mean, I'm really, really not dogmatic about it as far as, what are you gonna be a keto? Are you gonna be a ketovore? Are you gonna be a carnivore? But what I do know is that too much sugar is usually problematic. It causes so much disease. So I feel like if you're going back, doing the same thing that you always did, you're gonna get the same thing you always
Yeah,
got. And so ultimately, that if you're consuming too much sugar and your insulin is high, elevated all the time, you're gonna end up with some kind of metabolic disorder. That's my
I
opinion.
agree. I think if you tolerate it, we may guess. And in the case of this big doctor I mentioned, I'm not trying to criticize him, but you know, he spends hours of his day working out, surfing, uh, and once you're no longer metabolically dysfunctional, if you can add, especially fruits, perhaps, if you
Mhm.
can add anything that you want to add, yeah, and tolerate it, be my guest. Uh,
Right.
I think especially diabetics, which is to me the top metabolic dysfunction, uh, probably are not going to be able to do that
No.
uh, very soon. And if you can stay within, let's say, 20 grams or less of carbs, and many of those carbs can be coming from animal sources, but you probably, if you tolerate them, you don't have any allergies or reactions to the dairy or the vegetables that you're eating or the fruits. Uh, Many people do have mild, moderate, and even severe reactions to some of
Mhm.
those things. And they don't realize it until they eliminate them and
Right.
then try to add them back. And
Exactly.
there's a couple of things I've tried to add back black pepper just as a seasoning or garlic.
Mhm.
And I love garlic. Black pepper, I was never too big on it, but now I feel a little bit itching sometimes. I
I
went
can't
to
have
one.
black pepper.
I went to a Brazilian steakhouse over the weekend celebrating my two of my kids. One birthday was in October, one coming up now in November. And to my surprise, because I've been there before, but I don't think while I've been carnivore, I was there before. And they season their meats a lot more heavily than other Brazilian steakhouses. So
Mhm.
plenty of garlic and plenty of pepper in the meats. And, I had salmon and all the meats. I realized many of the meats are probably marinated in seed oils as well.
Yes.
So,
Right.
lesson learned as far as maybe ask before, because in many of the other Brazilian steakhouse houses, it's only on the fire. They don't marinate with seed oil. So I'm gonna have to do some investigation or just
Right.
cook. You know, I've mastered a black and blue on a stainless steel pan.
Nice. Nice, nice.
So
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, being careful about seed oils is another thing. I think that's probably one of the other things that's the top of my list to talk to people about is elimination of seed oils because it's so toxic. Um, and I find that even if I just get a little bit of seed oil, I'm gonna have some kind of a rash. I'll have some kind of a breakout from it. So seed oil is really nasty stuff. So that's another one of the big things that I do talk to people about.
So main runner says, I think the ones of us who are healthiest are the ones who are strictest carnivore. I could be wrong. It's probably true. Some of the reasonings I've heard from some of the people uh, don't make too much sense for me, and without trying to name names, someone who's heavily promoting that they went off carnivore, anti-carbs, and even bread and fruits, also have a coaching program. So I don't know if they're just trying to gather more. I don't know. I'm being
That's a little scary because, you know, we got to think about what's really going on here. The problem is too much sugar, right?
and
So,
everything that turns into sugar.
and everything that yeah, so when you eating high carbohydrates, you're incorporating too much sugar. You can only tolerate or add a teaspoon. 4 carbohydrates a day is all our body can handle. Everything over that is like making your body fight for its life with insulin and, causing all this dysfunction. And so, yeah, you might be doing it. It might be working for you, but in general, for most of us, that is not going to work. It's not going to work because we got a overconsumption problem. Just doesn't work.
For lunch, I just had some ground beef. I had made a pound of ground beef, so I ate about half pound yesterday, and still have half. And I just added 4 eggs today and mixed them up. So I like eggs, but not even eggs I can have every day, a large amount. And I'm always
Me too.
reminded that my grandfather, my Vasquez grandfather, he ate a dozen eggs a day,
Wow.
and his cholesterol was fine, by the way. Uh,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I find it fascinating that people who have healed and had a lot of really great results on carnivore are coming back and bashing carnivore. It's kind of weird. But to each his own, I guess.
yes. So I don't know how to read this handle, but he or she is saying garlic is like money. You can never have enough. Well, I am a cook, basically. And everything I cooked before, many of my Puerto Rican cuisine, it, it's always heavy on the garlic.
Mhm.
I'm always, I if there's something I can put too much, is garlic. But I have had to rein it back because it doesn't sit well with me anymore. So
Me too. Same thing. I mean, I started out carnivore with a lot of spices and seasonings. I ultimately really quickly realized that I cannot tolerate black pepper or any kind of pepper really. I can do cayenne pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper, but pretty much I'm not overdoing it with any of the spices anymore. I'm pretty much using salt these days.
all right. So according to my giveaway tool, only 10 people have put KMT. So I'm gonna give you a minute. Put hashtag KMT. Uh, when you email Alia, you're gonna put whether you want a gray one or black one. And if we happen to run out of it, you'll get a T-shirt, by the way. But put
Nice.
hashtag KMT, and let's bring that up.
There they go.
All righty. So I'm gonna put myself there, and Dr. Kiltz is not here. Alia's not here. So if you see their names with KMT, it was me. Uh, But if any of those Alia, Dr. Kiltz, or me wins, I have someone on Instagram that
Nice.
will be the lucky winner. Okay. So I'm going to give 5 more seconds. Then we'll go ahead and draw. It's already the top of the hours. The hour.
That went so fast.
So where
Very
can they find you, Robin?
So, of course, I'm on YouTube at Carnivorous Grandma, Grama, and also Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Congratulations, Cheryl. That's awesome. Yeah, so I'm kind of everywhere as Carnivorous Grandma. I also have a website, carnivorousgrandma.com or robinherron.com. And,
Okay.
of course, I'm doing my health coaching. So if you want to learn more about that, you can see that on my website.
So this is your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And go and subscribe. And basically, her moniker basically is very, I don't think there's another one. There are other ones similar on the grandma, but the way you spell grandma, it's unique.
Yes, my grandma's, I grew up calling my grandma's grandma, and my grandkids call me grandma, and so that's how I spell it.
All righty. So Cheryl, go ahead and email Alia at drkiltz.com. And I know you're not going to be in Hack Your Health, otherwise I will give it to you personally. But email her and tell her which one you want, a gray or a black one. And if we happen to have run out, sorry about the dogs in the background, then we'll give you another T-shirt, okay?
Nice.
But thank you, Robin, for being here.
Thank you,
It
Dr.
was
Nelson. I
fun, and
appreciate
time
you.
went very quickly.
It did. It went very fast.
All right.
All
So
right.
at 5:30, today's Tuesday, so we have in the community, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting, and I know who it was, and I forget right now who's gonna be with us, but come at 5:30, and I'll be there just an hour and a half. Okay. Have a good
Bye, everybody.
day.